Well, it's really bright today. What time is it? It's around 9, I think, in the morning. It's getting, of course, the sun is rising later. Um, so I'm here to talk about playing cards and reading playing cards. A lot of glare on my sunglasses. Before I go any further, look what my neighbor gave me. Isn't that gorgeous? Those are chrysanthemums. They're from her, it's like a bush, it's almost a tree. And she gives them to me every year. They dry beautifully. You just put them in a vase. What I'll do is I'll split these up into threes. I'll put some upstairs. They dry really beautifully. They don't shed. Oh, they're just gorgeous. Anyways, enough about that. So playing cards have been around. They've been reading playing cards for centuries. And it's sort of I get the sense, I mean, it's been passed from families, passed down. My aunt read them, my grandmother read them, my mother read them. It seems like it's kind of a woman's thing that they did. Now maybe I'm sure men did it as well, but it seems like it's kind of like an oral tradition through the centuries. And um, and it's not been codified and that's one reason why I think it's always changing and you never really can get your arm around it or hands around it, because it's been an oral tradition for centuries. Now that's changing as we have more people writing books about it and doing research and doing all that sort of thing and bringing things together. But I think the books that they write, they kind of take things from one place to another, and then they put it in a book, like a compendium of some kind. And so it's kind of a mishmash. So you hear what someone did over here, you did what some gypsy person did over there, some grandmother did over here, and they hear about these things, and then they put it in a book to kind of summarize. And some of the stuff is, I would think, is similar, but other stuff is very, very individual. Now, I came across this lady, Anna Cortez, in her book. Now, this is a fantastic book about reading cards. And this is just recently published in the 2000s. I'm not even sure, maybe even, when was it published? There should be a date in here. Let's see. The date is, I'm not sure where the date is. Did she not put the date in? Well, that's weird. Well, it's recent. It's this book here. You can't buy it on Amazon. It's out of print on Amazon, but you can download the ebook. It's like $8, I think, or you can buy it on her website. And her AnnaCortez.com. She sells these books. This book is really it's her own system, but it talks a lot about cards and how to read them, and what you should look for and what makes cards so playing cards so perfect for reading. So I think now I haven't read a lot of books about playing cards, but I think this one is probably the one you want to use to get a sense of how to read cards, and especially her system. She worked for years with her dad, and she reads this way with her system. And she has a website, she has a Facebook page, and you can follow her, and she's really terrific. Now, it seems like people that go into reading, I mean, I guess there's all kinds of people that do readings, and they do them for all kinds of reasons. I mean, I'm just doing things out of curiosity to see, just curious. But how you perceive your world has a lot to do with how you approach any kind of card reading. I mean, do you feel like you have control of your future? Because if you do feel like you have control of your future, then why would you go to read cards? It's like, you control your future. If you want to make $1 million, well, then you do things to make $1 million. And you're not going to make $1 million just by reading cards. You got to actually do something. But so why do people read? I mean, the people read cards for all the different reasons. And I talked about why I read tarot in another video. I'm not sure. I can't remember everything I said there, but it's good to understand your own view of this dimension or this reality. And if you do have a good grasp of how you see the world, whether it's through a very individual perspective, it's through a nature perspective, it's through a religious perspective, it's through spiritual. I mean, there's all kinds of ways of, you're just taught a certain way, that you start filtering the world in a certain way. And that draws certain people to reading cards or reading tarot or, divination. I think it's really useful for learning things about yourself that isn't, that's sort of subconscious or superconscious or something. So I think that's, a good thing. So I ended up doing a video right before this, I think, where I altered a deck, a playing card deck. And I wanted to make it more my own, because I figured, if you're going to use these cards to learn more about yourself, these should be your cards and not, just mass produced. And so I ended up, doing these cards. There's a video about them. I ended up going over the court cards to make them even darker and more dramatic. It does kind of look a little bit more distressed. So I made my own deck, and made it to my own, colored them, edged them, took the time to look at them while I was doing it. And then, so it was like, I spent like 2 hours with these cards. And then I decided to make a little, well, not, I had this, I bought this from an artisan in town. It's a pouch-like, and then I added a button and a closure to it so I can put my cards inside. So what I'm doing is I'm putting my energy, now this is a weird thing, but I'm sort of thinking this is important. A lot of people talk about, how you handle your cards, and you knock them twice, you put them over flames, all kinds of rituals around your cards. And I was like, I don't know why you really need to do that, because I'm a very practical person. So, but I've been doing it with this deck. I altered the deck, and so I made it more mine. It's unique. Nobody has a deck like this, at least with this coloration, and this is my deck. And then I took the time to find this. I had this buried somewhere. It was supposed to be a gift for someone who then stopped talking to me, so they never got the gift. Sorry. So then I made the closure, and I put it in here, and it's very pretty, and I like the, I made the closure, and so it's a very special place for my cards. That's my little card pack. And then I started doing readings with it, and the readings I seemed to have an easier time reading with them. I was definitely more comfortable with them, and I think it's because I'm spending time with it. I know. I think the energies or something are like kind of getting connected. And I think a lot of people would say, of course, Linda, of course, that's what it's all about, connecting with the energies. Well, yeah, that's what it's about, but, I'm a Capricorn and I'm very practical. And so I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that, but, we'll try it, But I'm really getting bonded to this deck, and I'm getting to the point where, this was probably a $1.50 deck. And anyway, so I made some changes, and I'm going to keep reading with this. I'm going to read with this and pull cards and look at this book as well to read. Now, the other thing is that I think is important, and I've always felt this. I always tell people, because of my experience, is not to buy used clothes, because you don't know who wore them. You don't know what's coming with those used clothes. And the reason why I said that was because I used to buy used clothes all the time. I liked vintage clothes. And one time I bought a navy blue wool crepe suit from the 40s. And it was, and I would wear it because I was doing child protection. I was doing court. I would have to appear in court. I would wear that whenever I had to go to court, or whenever I had an interview, or whenever I had to do something, that was, that you want to dress a little nicer for. I was wear this navy blue wool crepe suit, which was gorgeous and unique because it was from the 40s or 50s. And I think it was more from the 40s. Beautiful shape. And whenever I wore that suit, I would have the worst day. And it got to the point where I said, this is not possible. It can't be the karma of the suit. It's not possible. So I would purposely wear the suit when I knew like nothing was going on. I wore it to school one day. I was getting my master's, and I took it to one of my classes that day, and I wore my suit and it was a terrible day, another terrible day. So because of that experience, and there was another experience when I was young, a very young person, where I wore clothes that didn't belong to me. I knew where they came from, and it was a really weird experience with that, but that's for another story. So then I stopped buying used clothes. I will buy things that are cheap, and they'll buy them new. Now that being said, I and then in going in that direction, I also feel like if you know where something's coming from, and you know the person, and their person is making something, and they're like a really amazing person, then you should get that thing, because that is the energy. That's the positive energy. With used clothes, I think not everyone has experience I had, because sometimes you buy the used clothes, they got the energy, and they're not. It's not bad energy. It's good energy, or it's neutral energy. This suit came with bad energy. There's no question about it in my mind. I don't know. So anyways, I got this because of this artisan who was selling at the farmer's market probably 5 or 6 years ago. And she was a felter, and she did a lot of knitting and stuff. So I bought this from her because I had bought an earlier one from her, which was this one, which is one I still use. So she has, these beautiful colors, and I use this as my money pouch for my farmer's market. And then she also made these little dolls. They're so cute. She ended up, here and her husband started having grandchildren, so they stopped coming to the market. She just made beautiful things. And the thing is, what was about her was her energy. She had 5 children. Her husband was her second husband. Just a very positive, upbeat person. She did yoga. She was very interesting character, because she was not a la-la person. She was very practical, and she was very kind, and she was very, it's just a really good energy about her. And so, if you're going to buy something or get something from someone, if they have good energy, I would definitely latch onto that, because, and I think using this, because I know where it came from, and I got it from my friend, who now has probably 20 grandchildren, because she had 5 daughters. That gives it even more a special place. I think you buy things, you put your cards in things that you buy. I mean, I got some pouches on Amazon. They were 6 for, I don't know, $7 or something. They're nice pouches, but they don't have my, they don't. I haven't altered them or anything. I just kind of put the cards in there because I didn't like the box they came in. So, but I think I'm now coming around to, I guess what I'm saying is I'm now coming around to, you have to treat your cards special. You have to treat yourself special. And you have to be aware of what improves your life, and what's toxic and what's not toxic. And sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you just, you do something, you let's say you meet a new friend, you go out with them, and it's like you leave and you're like, gee, this is kind of like strange experience. It was not a great experience. Where you go out with someone else and you just have a wonderful time and you feel good when you leave. I mean, all these things that make you feel good and make you feel bad, it could be just a real subtle thing. You have to pay attention to that, because there is energy out there. There's a lot of energy out there, like levels and dimensions and all that stuff, if you believe in that. But I do believe in that. And we can't control a lot of that stuff, but then there are things we can control. Be with people who are creative, who are kind, who are loving and giving. I mean, if you're with those people, you'll feel differently. You'll feel the same way. You go with people who are negative and, you know, angry and hateful. I mean, you're not going to save the world. You're not going to be able to save them. They got to save themselves. We all have to save ourselves. And I'm giving advice, which I rarely do. Or maybe I do give advice a lot. I don't know. Anyway, so I love my chrysanthemums, and I love my, is that what they are, chrysanthemums? Yeah, I think they are. And I love my new pouch and my new cards. And I'm really enjoying this book. So if you do have any interest in learning about playing cards, this is someone who has worked with playing cards for 30, 40 years, who has codified her system. And you're not going to find that with other books about playing cards. I think what you'll find in other books with playing cards, now I could be wrong, and certainly if I am wrong, let me know. They just kind of do a Google search, or they, you know, and they take things from different books at different times and put it all together in a compendium. Where this is actually a very useful and comprehensive book. And if you read it, it's just a really good book. So that's all I got to say today. It's a beautiful day. Now it's getting cloudy again, but that's okay. The sun is moving. It's not cloudy, it's just moving. The sun moves very quickly. What? Anyways, thanks for watching. I've been rambling. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.